Hey everybody, welcome to the socaldramtram. I'm Matt.
And I'm Cesar, and today we got a special one for you folks. We got Tullarmore Dew, Keep It True, I Love You. This is one from my bar, and I actually am excited about this because before my days of developed whiskey palate, I should say, Tullarmore Dew was my favorite street whiskey. And I say street whiskey as in ranking it with Jack Daniels, Jameson, you know, all that basic stuff you could find anywhere. And if you say the name, even someone that doesn't really like whiskey knows what you're talking about. So in that category, I remember actually the way I found this, I used to work for oil refineries, right? And after a long day at work, everyone from work went to this local crappy dive bar right down the street. It's the only bar in an industrial area in Long Beach. Anywho, I remember going there and talking to some dude that was at the bar, you know, drinking too. We shared a beer, had a good conversation, and he actually said he owned a bar up in northern LA called Bonnet Lady or Red Haired Lady, something like that.
Oh my.
Anywho, I was drinking Jameson because I like Jameson over Jack, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, I prefer Jameson for Irish whiskey. He's like, oh, you like good Irish whiskey? You know what? You need to try this Tullarmore Dew. I'm like, all right. So I ended up trying the Tullarmore Dew, and I loved it. I loved it right away. As far as street whiskey goes, that Jameson Jack level, this is definitely what I bought for the majority of the time. I love the flavors I got from it even before my palate was developed.
I like the qualifier of street whiskey. Also, do we need to call it a Grappy Dive Bar, or can we just call it a dive bar? You be the judge. All right, folks. So, as Cesar said, today we've got Tullarmore Dew, and I'm excited about this one. So this continues our budget series for the month of February. Remember, all these whiskeys are top 5, all under 30 bucks, all readily available. If you don't know what we're doing by now, shame on you. No, I'm just kidding. Check out this video right here. It'll tell you all about it. And then be sure to go ahead and check out the rest of the playlist while you're at it. But anyway, continuing on, this is Tullarmore Dew. This is presented at 40% ABV, and it's aged in old bourbon barrels, and it's also aged in sherry cask, which you know what that means. That means I'm going to love it because sherry, I love it. And today, before we go ahead and get into the whiskey, for the coin that I'm using, I'm actually using Jeremy's coin from the Social Sippers Club. That's right, folks. Social Sippers Club. Social Sippers. Why'd you make a hard name, Jeremy? Why'd you make a hard name?
Why your mama named you that?
Social Sippers Club. I still can't even say it when I'm in, you know, full-blown regalia. But nonetheless, you can pick up his coins at his website, socialsippersclub.com. And I have to slow it down to 1/125th of a second in order to actually go ahead and say the name. You can get his coins at his website. Be sure you check it out. If you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Who are you using today?
For me, I got Last Drop. Thanks for the pop. I kind of like this. Nice little wooden coin. Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate anything anyone gives me, no matter what. Thank you, fam. And for my topper coin, I'm using my 5-finger pour from Bourbon Sane because Matt knows I love my 5-finger pour.
It's true. If you saw his Snapchat, whenever he pours a glass of whiskey, I'm like, what are you doing? You're going to go through the bottle so fast, and my God, your girlfriend's going to yell at you because you're hammered. Anyway, so right on the nose, what are you getting on this? So we put these up in a blind. Again, just a quick little brief summary of what we did. We put 10 whiskeys in a blind. We didn't know what they were. We ranked them based on what we got off the palate, and we got 5 whiskeys. We got our top 5. And again, this is number 2. I was really happy to see an Irish actually make it in because we only had 2 Irishes in the blind. We had a Tullarmore Dew and we had a Jameson. Sunday evening scotch. I'm looking at you. Don't worry. We got you back, brother. And I was really happy to see an Irish make it in at number 2 because so far we've had 2 bourbons, a blended scotch, and now an Irish. And if you've been following along at home, you might be able to figure out what number 1 is. But, you know, don't say it in the comments. We want to keep it a surprise. Or you can be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Anyway, what are you getting on the nose?
I get a nice, smooth little rubbing alcohol. I can't really get much beyond the...
I was actually going to say, for 40%, it kind of pops you in the nose.
Yeah.
It's definitely punching above its weight class. I know you're probably seeing me do the whole like rub the whiskey in my hands thing.
It's because he thinks a genie is about to pop out. So
if only. If I could rub a lamp and get a genie right about now, I don't care if it's Will Smith or Robin Williams. Please be Robin Williams. It would be so much better for just general whiskey buying and life things. But I'm trying to kind of get past the alcohol and kind of gives the nose, but I'm not really getting much.
Yeah.
Now, it could be that this is our fourth whiskey of the night, but it's still, like I said, it's more alcohol punchy than anything. So I kind of have to dig deeper in there. I'm not getting any of the sherry yet.
I think I'm getting a little bit of a lemon zest.
I get some citrus in there.
Yeah,
it's almost like a...
To be honest, this reminds me of walking into CVS for some reason. Like, walking into CVS. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I buy rubbing alcohol from CVS, but...
I mean, smells do equate memories. If you buy rubbing alcohol from CVS... I got there. I got you. I don't get it. I do get the citrus. Like, there's a little bit of, like, lemon, kind of like an orange zest, too. Like, we've talked about, like, it's the zest or it's the fruit, right? This is actually the white part. You know what I mean? It's that little membrane layer between the rind and the actual fruit, where it's got a little bit of bitter to it, but there is still a little bit of that fruit nose to it. I'm going to take a little bit of a sip. I took a small one. I kind of sneaked a sip just to kind of see what would happen. This portion, this last 10 seconds would make great radio. It's interesting. So I'm getting a little bit of the vanilla from that bourbon barrel. I'm not really getting much of the sherry note at all. I don't really remember when we put this up in the blind how it fared with me. I want to say it didn't score too high, which means you must have scored it pretty high for it to get into the top 5, especially at number 2. But it's starting to mellow out a little bit, but I'm not really getting much on the nose. Other than that, like, you know, like I said, that membrane part of a citrus. Are you getting anything else off of it?
Not the nose, but to be honest, the more I let it sit, it's getting a little bit sweeter for me. Like, the more I let it sit, definitely a little bit sweeter. I'm going to try it with water, though.
So I've had a couple of Irishes. I mean, we reviewed the Yellow Spot 12-year. You can check it out up here. And we
By
got
far, my favorite Irish.
It's a really good Irish. And we're going to have a couple more Irishes coming down the pipe, just because I know what one of my Valentine's gift is going to be.
Hit down the pipe, make it right.
But, you know, we've had a chance to go check out McAllen's Public House, which is a restaurant next to us, and they do flights of whiskeys, and that's kind of the best way to drink there. Shout out to Carlos at McAllen's Public House. You're great, man. We appreciate you if you're tuning in. If not, we're going to yell at you the next time we're there. But he's really great. He's the GM there. We recently went to a tasting there, and he really did take care of us at the end of the night, and we really do appreciate that, man.
Thanks, bro.
I got a chance to try some other Irishes, and I'll tell you that normally the note that I get on an Irish is just very creamy mouthfeel, almost like a buttery shortbread cookie. And right now I'm not getting much of that on it neat. I did put 3 drops of water in. Again, that was kind of our standard when we did this blind. We dropped 3 drops of water. Again, you can check out Jeremy at the Social Sippers Club. I'm going to try to say that until I get it right. And you can get that water dropper from him as well. Ooh, okay. Okay, with the water, it brings out a little bit more of that vanilla. I'm getting that lemon you were talking about. Like I said, now it's starting to get to be that little bit more of that shortbread.
It definitely opened up with water for sure.
There it is. There's that creamy, buttery mouthfeel. Definitely much easier. Almost a little bit watery, and that seems redundant because we dropped water on it. But at 40%, they're obviously producing this at mass volume. They're looking for mass quantity. What's the maximum ROI, or return on investment, if you will, from this barrel? Interestingly enough, though, and you guys know me by now, I love my sherried whiskey. I'm not getting like any sherry out of this. I mean, those typical sherry notes of toffee. I'm not getting any of the, you know, ruby red fruits. I'm not getting any of that like fresh tobacco leaf or anything like that. Maybe that's just tonight. Maybe that's because it's number 4 in a 5 whiskey lineup tonight. But like, it's not really popping out at me. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean that I'm like, oh, get this garbage out of here. It just means that as of right now in my palate and my journey tonight in particular, I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite. That said, though, I'm still happy that it made it into here. What are you thinking with the water?
Yeah, to be honest, I with the water, I like it. It kind of reminds me of why I like it now. I think it's like a higher quality Jameson for sure. It's everything you get in Jameson, which is not much, but it actually brings some sweetness out to it. And I mean, I honestly, I really like it. I mean, I like this enough to keep buying it for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you actually bought this one for the month. We didn't actually cover it. What was the price point on this? If I remember correctly, it's like $19, right?
Yeah.
So it's like $18.99. So it definitely qualifies. In terms of availability, you could find this everywhere. Like, I don't know if I've walked into a liquor aisle in any store and not seen Tullarmore Dew. So in terms of meeting the qualifiers for this series, it more than hit it out of the park. It rested comfortably sitting at third base ready to steal home. For me, though, for the value that you're getting from the liquid, for the price point of the bottle, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2. I'm not really feeling crazy about it tonight. It fared better in the blind, obviously, for me. Would I swap it out for the other Irish that we had in that lineup right now? Sure. Does it mean it's a bad whiskey? No. It just means at this point in the night, for me, I'm not really feeling it. But I'll give it a 2. I definitely wouldn't turn it away. Definitely wouldn't not welcome a pour of it. But there's other stuff that I would seek out first. So if you've never had it, give it a shot. Like I said, it's a 2 for me. What are you feeling?
I'm probably going to give it a 3. I think it's pretty decently good for that street whiskey. I give it an A+, number 1 for street whiskey. So I'm going to give it a solid 3 for sure.
I'm just like picturing you like walking through Santa Ana, like hitting somebody's house up, and then you have it in like a brown bag. You know what I mean? Instead of 40, you got like a full 750 of whiskey. But nonetheless, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. Do us a favor, go ahead and hit the comment section. Let us know. Have you had Tullarmore Dew? Have you had another Irish that you like? Do you like this one? Tell us we're crazy. That's fine. We're used to it. But nonetheless, guys, be sure to like this video. Hit that little bell for notifications. And if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. Check us out on the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Follow us on all of the socials. And we definitely appreciate you guys hanging around with us. We don't do this without you guys. Even if it was just 5 of you, we definitely appreciate you guys hanging around. You got anything else you want to add?
Nah, what about you, Matt?
All aboard! Catch you next time. Hey, everybody. Hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.